warming up finally here in the US, and you're probably looking to put away the cold weather clothes, the knits and everything, to get ready for summer clothes. So I want to talk a little bit about safely storing your knits. For the most part, we're going to talk about wool and other animal fibers, but we'll get the other fiber types out of the way first. If you have cotton or acrylic items that you want to store for the winter, just follow the yarn label instructions for how to wash them, and then you can really store them anywhere. They can be put in a drawer or in a trunk, and you don't have to worry about moths getting to them because I've never heard of a moth that eats cotton, so you're safe, or acrylic, so you're safe there. Just make sure it's clean before you put it away because animals or pests can be attracted to food spills, and you want to make sure they're clean. Okay, so the thing we really have to be careful with is storing wool because of moths, and something I learned, carpet beetles are also pests that will eat through wool. I thought it was just moths. No, we have carpet beetles to think of too, but we can prevent infestation in the same way. Let's get the bad news out of the way first so we can end on a good note. The bad news is mothballs. Mothballs are a pesticide and they're dangerous. And I had to do some research to put this video together, and I found out mothballs are way worse than I even thought. If you are smelling mothballs, you're actually inhaling a pesticide. That's how they work. They release this toxic gas that kills moth larvae, eggs or larvae, I'm not sure which. It kills them though. And they're dangerous to breathe, they're unhealthy to breathe, they're actually inconvenient to try to get the smell out of your woolens once they come out of storage. But they're also lethal. They can be lethal to pets and children. They look like candy, and I can't imagine anyone ever eating one because they smell so bad, but apparently if a pet or a child eats one, they're sweet. So they taste like candy too. That's really dangerous. I have a neighbor who spreads mothballs underneath all of his rosemary bushes out front, and we're not gonna walk past his house anymore because it is just it's just fumey, terrible walking past his house with the Texas sun beating down on these mothballs in his yard. Yeah, okay, now that I know what I know. Okay, we're going to, oh wait, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has mothballs, the ingredient listed in mothballs, as a carcinogen. They're actually also banned in the EU. Is that enough? We don't need to use them. There are other alternatives. Okay, the other alternative is airtight containers. That is your best defense for keeping away moths and carpet beetles. So before we talk about the airtight containers, we're going to talk about cleaning them. Cleaning the knitted items. You want to wash them before you put them away. Wash them and make sure they're completely dry before you put them away. The moths and the carpet beetle lay eggs that are so small you can't see them. So you want to make sure that if there are any eggs on the woolen before you store it, you want to get that washed away. Also, like I said before with the cotton items, if there are any food spills on the items, you want to get that washed off. Also, it's just so nice when the weather gets cold again to pull out these nice smelling clean things to wear. So you want to wash them using a wool soap. You can follow the directions on the yarn label for how to wash them. Most wool items will need to be hand washed and set out flat to dry unless they're superwash. All of my superwash socks I machine wash and set out flat to dry. Then once everything is dry, you can store them however you like, airtight. I use these enormous Ziploc bags, and I really like these because they're not plastic bins, and plastic bins take up so much space. These can be slid under the bed, or if you have more hanging closet space, you can actually put a clothes hanger through the handle. It's super reinforced, and so you can hang the bags in a closet. Sorry about that crinkle sound. I'm sure it's coming through on the microphone. So that is your most effective method to keep moths and carpet beetles away. The next thing you can do, the other things you can do to help with that, cedar. Cedar comes in little balls or chips or bricks. That actually kills moth larvae. So, and it smells nice. So if you put the cedar in the airtight container with the knits, that will actually kill moth larvae if any of them got in there. And lavender is also really effective in repelling moths. I don't think any of these are effective for carpet beetles. I think carpet beetles, you have to be sure to wash it and get it put in the airtight container as soon as it's dry. The lavender will repel the moths so they don't lay the eggs, so the larvae doesn't hatch to eat through the wool. I've only had one knitted item really get chewed up by moths, and it was a wool dog sweater. I left it in the hall closet, totally forgetting that I had it in there. And then when I pulled it out when the weather got cold this last winter, it's full of big holes. They did a lot of damage. So I'll be more careful next year. Okay, in talking about using these bags, this here is a bag truly full of a bunch of my favorite knitted stuff. And the way that I pack this is with the heaviest sweaters on the bottom, moving up to lighter sweaters and scarves, up to socks and hats and scarves. And the reason for that is, I'm sure it's pretty much the same everywhere, but here in Texas, the wintertime, getting into the cold weather is kind of a slow process. So I'm far more likely to grab a hat for a morning dog walk or scarves or gloves than I am to bring out the big guns in the warm sweaters. So I can just keep grabbing things off the top and resealing the bag until it's actually really cold, you know, in December, and then I'll want to wear these things. So it's kind of set in a way so that I don't have to dig through it to get to the pieces that I want first, moving down into the warmer pieces. Now, I'm sure someone's going to say in the comments something about space bags. I don't use space bags, and I want to tell you why I don't. I know they're really effective for storing things like comforters and cold weather bedding that you're not using, but because you suck the air out of space bags, it will flatten your knits and press creases into the knits that are hard to get out. It's a much better idea to store them loosely in something like this, a big bag or a bin like this, so that you pull them out, you can wear them right away without having to steam them out or wash them again to get the stitches to fluff back up again. Okay, I think that's everything. I said everything I wanted to say negative about mothballs and positive about cedar, lavender, and airtight containers. Good luck.